Hey everybody, in this video, we're going to look at how the Clippers defended Damian Lillard in Tuesday's victory. I asked Clippers head coach Tyronn Lue just prior to the game on Tuesday against Portland if he would blitz Damian Lillard from the beginning of the game to get the ball out of his hands, or if he would show different looks over the course of the game. And his answer didn't really surprise me, but I still found it interesting because it gave some insight into how they were going to defend Lillard all night.
I think we got to come out right away and blitz him. Just put it on his mind. And we've always done that in the past. And, you can't let a guy like that, ease into the game. He's too great. And so we want to just come out right away and put pressure on him as much as we can. But you can't never let him see like how he's going or how he's going to play because, 9 times out of 10 he's going to play great.
So here we go. The Clippers are going to basically blitz Lillard from the outside of this game. Tyronn Lue was not lying about that. High screen from Cantor. Zubac is stepping up to blitz and kind of corral him. It allows Beverly to get time to get back in here to contest a Lillard shot if one is made. Forces him to give the ball up. Beverly then does something here called ball denying. He denies Lillard from getting the ball. Gets into the passing lane. Forces a steal. This is a great defensive start for the Clippers. Blazers score on this possession, but not how you would think. Another high screen. Zubac once again shows high. Lillard is going to pull up from about 32, 33 feet, and this is a shot he can hit, but this is contested by Zubac. Zubac gives him no room to breathe. Yes, Enes Kanter gets the rebound, and yes, he has a nice little putback, but this is solid overall. Blazers love to run Lillard off of double aways. First screen is being set by Covington. The second screen will be set by Cantor. Jackson's going to be the defender being run off these. When Lillard gets the ball, we notice that George stunts over to kind of force Lillard to put the ball on the floor. Zubac is at the nail to meet him, and it forces Lillard into this tough runner, floater, whatever, and he ends up missing the shot. The whole thing with blitzing is to force Lillard to give the ball up. Another high screen. Zubac is going to show high. This forces the pass to a rolling Cantor. But look at Morris. He digs down, gets his hand into the passing lane, deflects the ball, and the Clippers get a steal. Once again, all the Clippers are trying to do by blitzing or showing high with a second defender is just to force Lillard to give the ball up, and that happens here. Patterson shows high, strings Lillard out, and we're going to see that when Lillard goes to pass here, Batum digs down, which is going to leave Carmelo Anthony open on the left wing, but Lillard can't get the ball to him because Jackson is pressuring the ball. This forces the ball to go to Derrick Jones Jr. in the corner. He's not a good three-point shooter, and he ends up missing. Send an extra defender, you never know what might happen. When Patterson comes up to defend against the screen, he's going to force Lillard and string him out wide. When Lillard goes behind the back, notice how it's congested here. Ball gets deflected, Reggie Jackson gets a steal and goes the other way. Even if Lillard is not going to give the ball up, the most important thing is to throw a crowd of bodies at him to make life difficult. Here, Rondo gets into Lillard's body to force him to drive the ball. Batum steps up to help as a low-man defender. When Lillard tries to get through all of this traffic, he has to force up this very tough shot. He ends up missing. Ball gets batted around for a while. Clippers get the ball and go the other way. But the Clippers did a really good job all night long of not just ball denying, not just blitzing, but just swarming him overall. This is the other way to defend Lillard. Ball denied by doing what's called a top lock. Batum is in top lock. When Lillard cuts through, we're going to notice how Reggie Jackson digs down to prevent a pass. When Lillard sneaks out the other side, look at Reggie Jackson. He's going to X out to the wing to prevent the ball from getting to Lillard. Portland gets tied up. They end up having to force themselves into calling a timeout, and the Clippers get a nice little reset here. Lillard is very good at splitting doubles or just splitting to get to the lane. Paul George shows high and he exposes the middle of the floor, which Lillard goes through. Zubac is in stride with him as the rim protector, and while he does not block this shot, he contests it enough and deters Lillard enough to end up forcing a very tough miss here. Deter. Marcus Morris is in top lock against Lillard denying. Paul George is already shading over in case the ball gets entered, which it does. Now look at this. George steps over. He allows Morris to recover. Zubac is going to come down. When Lillard goes to drive, Zubac is there to corral Lillard and force him away from the basket. Ball goes out to Covington. It's a contested three and it's a miss. This is just beautiful stuff. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Recognition. Kawhi Leonard has his hand up early to deter Lillard from pulling up from beyond the arc. When the screen and roll game happens here, we're going to see Zubac get low and force Lillard wide. And Zubac does a good job of allowing Leonard to get back into the play, to get back into defensive position against Lillard. Ball goes to Covington. It's a contested three. This is a win by the Clippers defense overall. Lillard has a lethal step back game, but Morris does an adequate job to stay with him. Lillard's going to bump into him, hard plant and step. Right here, he's going into a shot form, but look at Morris. This is a good contest. It's not an exquisite one or a great one, but it's a very good one, and he ends up helping to force a miss. The mantra for the Clippers in this game really was anyone but Lillard. Powell had a great night, McCollum had a great night, but Lillard did not. And here on this high screen, look at how high Zubac is up the floor to meet Lillard to force him to drive. The low man is Kawhi Leonard. Now when the ball leaves Lillard's hand, watch Leonard hustle out to the corner. This is an absolutely tremendous contest to force a miss by Powell in the corner. Lillard loves to try to draw fouls, especially beyond the arc. And one way to prevent that is to contest without fouling, obviously. That just seems simple, but that's the case. When Kanter runs up to set the screen, we're going to notice that Zubac is also going to run up from the nail. He's in good position here right away. He contests this shot. No fouls called. This is a great contest. Lillard misses, and the Clippers go the other way. Lillard receives the highest screens in the NBA, set higher up the floor than anyone else. Your big has to show high. Zubac does that here, which allows George to recover and get in perfect position to contest this shot. It's not a good look. Lillard misses, and the Clippers are on a roll. This is a heck of an overall individual effort by Rajon Rondo, one of the newest Clippers here. Lillard is in the mid-post. They want to get him the ball, but Rondo does a great job of fronting and denying an entry pass. He's jostling and jostling and jostling, and this is going to force the ball the other way and force Lillard to actually move. When Lillard comes up to get the ball, it's already under 5 on the shot clock here, but Rondo holds his ground. When Lillard goes to drive, there's no foul called. Rondo's in a legal guarding position. When Lillard goes up, Rondo strips him, and the Clippers and Rondo force a steal. On this possession, the Clippers ball deny from the baseline. Reggie Jackson's the main ball deny defender with Rondo. They're going to bracket coverage him, almost like a cornerback and a safety. They're going to retreat up the court, force other players to handle the ball for Portland. Rondo's then going to ball deny any pass to Lillard, and this is going to force Norman Powell to have to take a contested mid-range jumper against Nicholas Batum. It's a great contest by Batum, as we end up seeing right here. However, it's the job that was done early on to prevent Lillard from getting the ball that really paid dividends on this possession. Once again, you have to meet Damian Lillard up high. Jackson does that. Bracket coverage yet again. When Lillard drives, we notice Jackson uses his athleticism to end up contesting the shot at the rim and forcing another Lillard miss. This is the kind of intelligence that can win you a championship down the line just based on smarts. Rajon Rondo, he's going to come over in bracket coverage yet again, just play like a free safety role. When Lillard goes to pass, Rondo reads it, gets a hand on it, tips it away. Portland ends up retaining possession here, but watch Reggie Jackson. As Reggie Jackson's defending Lillard, he just straight up ball denies him again. Top block position, denying Lillard any chance to come back and get the ball. And now Portland's forced with 7 on the shot clock to go into a contested mid-range jumper. This is a win for the Clippers defense, and they did this time and time again. Just keep getting the ball out of Lillard's hands. It's working so well for the Clippers right now that you just have to keep doing it. Can't let him get any breathing room. Patrick Patterson shows high on the screen. He's going to end up forcing the ball out of Lillard's hands because of this little trap. Kawhi Leonard reads that CJ McCollum's coming over to act as an outlet and a release valve. He comes over to help. As McCollum goes up with this shot, notice how contested the shot is by both Leonard and Batum, and the Portland Trailblazers are in hell. All right. Another top lock position by the Los Angeles Clippers, this time by Paul George against Damian Lillard in the far side corner. When Lillard comes through off of the screen, we're going to notice Batum's going to switch on him and go underneath this Kanter screen to sneak out the other side to be right up on Lillard. As Kanter comes over to set the screen, Kanter realizes Lillard has Batum. This might be a mismatch the Blazers want to attack. However, not so fast. Batum's lengthy. He contests this three-point attempt by Lillard perfectly, and the Clippers are just getting stop after stop at this point. You can have a fantastic defensive possession and still have a player hit a shot, but at least it wasn't Lillard, right? Here, Kawhi Leonard, once again, ball denying. The screen from Enes Kanter is going to come. As Leonard comes to roll off the screen, look at Patrick Patterson. He's ball denying a backdoor pass. Lillard comes through to the nail. Batum's going to dig down to prevent a pass to the nail and to Lillard. And all of a sudden, it goes to Robert Covington, and Covington has to go with this contested shot. He makes it, but this is a win for the Clippers. We're talking about winning defensive possessions, and it all starts from the very beginning up top with a guy like Patrick Patterson showing high, forcing the pass to Kanter on the roll, and a guy like Kawhi Leonard digging down as the low man to help, forcing the pass to the wing. Jackson closes out against Covington. It's a tough look, and the Clippers force another miss. This final play is a perfect summation of how the Clippers defended Lillard overall. George ball denying, top blocking against Lillard. It's going to come off the screen here, which means now Batum has switched on to Lillard. When Lillard goes to set the next screen, the Clippers are going to switch that action, getting Batum against McCollum. Batum does an excellent job of walling McCollum off on this drive, and Beverly, who's now switched on to Lillard, expertly navigates to ball deny and tip this pass away, and now Portland is scrambling. When Portland ends up getting the ball and kind of resets to realize what's going on, there's only 4.6 seconds on the shot clock, as we can see highlighted here, and this possession is just screwed. The Clippers did a marvelous job all night against Damian Lillard from the outset.